where my voice will go from here, who knows? I have no idea. I'm not trying to make it go anywhere. I'm not trying to make it do anything that it doesn't already do. I always test the limits of what I can do, and if I do happen to find that I'm expanded in my range a bit, I'll show that in my repertoire, and my music, and and my harmonies, But it's all musicality. It's all for the sake of something that sounds good that people want to enjoy listening to. Um, I've never set out to try to prove anything. I've never tried to pit myself against another bass singer. Um, I, I I applaud what other people can do, and to each their own. You know, some people think I'm too deep. You know, but my opinion is there's no such thing as too deep. you know, so
Yeah, yeah.
but
You,
I show that. I don't just say that. I show that in the things that I do. You know,
yeah,
um, so that's my take on it.
yeah, and you know, I developed within the last few years too. It's like I started off singing, in fact, as a tenor, but then I,
Okay,
but then I became, and by now I think I'm a baritone, but like I'm not sure which type anymore. I always thought lyric, but like I
right.
start, I started to question it like recently. I mean, I don't know which exact vocal fach I'm in, and I mean, I guess it doesn't matter right now. I mean, I'm still
You're still
oh
learning. You're still growing.
yeah, it's like
The main thing I tell people is that, get used to what you have today and enjoy that and make the most out of that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to pursue being deeper or having more range. But if
if it's
there's
not
no joy
essential, it's
in
bad.
what you have right now, what's the point?
Yeah.
Enjoy what you have right now. Make the most out of it. There's a position for every voice type in music, you know. So play that part, whatever part you're at, and be the best that you can be at that part.
Yeah, I mean, and there have been times in which I hit a resonant E2, in which it's not really like super low pitch. I mean, and of course I've even hit lower notes, but they were just quiet. But like flows
Right,
that have ever like resonated and like actually made it sound very good. It was like
right.
E2, and it's like I wanted, you know, to be a bass singer. I mean, it,
How old are you?
I'm 19 years old.
Oh, well, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. When I was 19, I probably sounded somewhat like I do now, but not as rich, you know?
Okay, so like
Not
the
as
same pitch, but like just not the same timbre.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
The
yeah, that makes
coloring was
sense.
probably different and everything, but the voice was basically there like it is now. And that's why it was I mean, I remember those years when my voice first changed and everybody was freaking out when they heard me speak because I was just a teenager. I was a kid, and I sounded like a man. And when I answered the phone at my home, um,
They probably
people
thought
would
you were
call
a robot.
Yeah, well, they thought I was my dad, you know. So, and as a kid, that's funny. You get a kick out of that. That grown people think you're a grown up and you're just a kid, but it was all because of the voice. And then you go through different aspects of life, like going through the checkout line at the grocery store, and all you say is thank you, but people are just freaking out over your voice. Or you're at a restaurant and you're ordering something and the waitress or the waiter is like freaking out over your voice. So I mean, I went through all those years and I still go through that every day. I mean, it's become a part of my life. Um, and as a kid, you have fun with stuff like that. I know I used to um, pretend to be some of my friends' parents. Not to do anything illegal, but because I knew I could pull it off. And as a kid, that's the kind of stuff kids do. So I had a lot of fun with my voice, sounding like a man when I was a kid. And as you see in a lot of my videos now, I still have a lot of fun with my voice. It's just always been something that I enjoy playing with. Um, whether I'm imitating somebody or singing a song that's kind of silly or whatever it might be. I have fun doing this. I just really enjoy using my voice, and so, and I know it makes people happy. I know it entertains people. I know, and this is just from people telling me this. I know that, you know, it can move people, depending on the song I'm singing and how I sing it. So I know there's a lot of power in my voice, and I don't take that for granted, you know, and I don't take advantage of people or situations with that power that I know I have in my voice, so yeah, I mean, I'm always happy to answer people's questions. I get them all the time. Um, I'm always happy to share um, something that I've been doing that may help them in their journey to sounding better. One of the things I say is that the basics. Take care of your voice. If you're sick, don't talk, especially don't sing. Um, let your vocal cords rest. When you sing, just like an athlete, you warm up, you know, and then after you sing, you warm down, just like an athlete. Um, you avoid certain environments, harsh weather, people smoking, or being around toxins and stuff in the air. You got to be careful about that. Back when they had smoking inside of buildings, that's probably foreign to you, but they used to let people smoke inside of buildings. They used to let people smoke inside of airplanes, and I remember those days. And you think of it now and it's like that is totally ridiculous to
Yes.
be able to smoke inside a encapsulated capsule 40,000 feet in the air. How do you escape that? In restaurants, they used to have a smoking section and a non-smoking section in restaurants. But if it's smoke, it's going to go everywhere. Hotels used to have smoking rooms and non-smoking rooms. So if you got a smoking room, you walk into a hotel and you can just hit it. It hits you in the face. So
Okay, so
just being careful of the environments that you're in.
okay,
Um,
so
not not raising your voice and stuff like that. Just taking care of your voice, basic, simple stuff.
yeah, so I want to tell you something.
Yeah.
You're sorry, this is kind of awkward, cringeworthy, but like it's
Hmm?
kind of a big deal to me. You know why?
Why is that?
It's because like on the Octavism channels, like I've heard many Octavists singing voices, but like your speaking voice was like the first I've ever heard out of any like basso profondo or anything like that. It's like I was like, wait, someone literally talks in like the first octave.
Yeah, I come to find that over the
Yeah.
years, I guess that's pretty rare. I didn't know that, but
You
there's a
didn't
lot
even
I
know that
learned
you
about my
yourself
own
sounded
voice.
like that.
Huh?
You didn't even know that you yourself sounded like that.
Well, to me, it was just my voice, and I knew it was deep. My dad had a deep voice, even though my voice is deeper than his. Um,
Oh yeah.
I grew up hearing my dad, so it was no surprise when my voice dropped, because my dad's got a deep voice, and
Oh yeah.
he used to sing bass in a quartet. So to me, it's just my voice. Now to other people, it's like, whoa, you know. But to me and my family and my friends, that's just Eric's voice. So when I started learning about octavism and all these other things, that's when I was introduced to like other people who sounded like me for the first time. And most of them were like Russian basses. You didn't have too many over in America. And
Yeah,
then
you don't have a lot. You only have a Glenn
yeah,
Miller, and
Glenn
like a few
Miller,
other people, I
um,
guess.
yeah, a couple other people, and then
Yeah.
I've been put into that same group.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but that was stuff that I've learned myself over the years. I never studied or read up on that kind of thing. I didn't even know what an octavist was. I never heard that word.
Oh
I think
yeah.
maybe
On
before
like in the
10 years ago.
For me, it
10 or
was only like
15
a few
years ago.
years ago.
Yeah,
And
that was a foreign word to me. You know,
yeah,
I always thought basso profundo was as deep as you could get. But when I did learn about Octavist and Octavism, and then I was told that I was actually an Octavist, it made so much sense to me because growing up, you know, whether I was in a choir or a singing group, you know, you're singing these pieces of music, like in choral music, and I'm singing bass, you know, but then people would say, Eric, come up, come up. And it would always confuse me because I was singing bass. So I'm like, where am I supposed to come up to? Baritone, you know? But they were saying I was too deep. And what it was after I understood that I was an octavist and I learned what all that meant, I was actually singing an octave below bass, even though in my head I was singing the bass part, but I was actually singing it an octave below the bass part that was written on the music. So all of that kind of clicked and made sense after I learned that I was an octavist. But growing up, it was so frustrating because I would always have people saying, Eric, come up, you're too deep. And I'm like, I'm the bass. How can I be too deep? I'm singing the bass part.
and also
So that was interesting.
yeah, if you were in my choir, it's like I also have a big respect for like of course
Hmm.
sopranos in the choir. It's like and I like diversity in the choir in choral music and
Music is
so
beautiful. It's a
yeah,
beautiful thing,
yeah, it's like both the
you
treble
know?
and the bass together. It's
Oh
like I
yeah.
love that.
It's
Okay.
beautiful. I mean, there
Yes.
are pieces of
Yeah.
classical music is my favorite genre of music.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
same thing here.
I love all types of music. I'm
Yes.
very eclectic, but classical music is my favorite. I can listen to that anytime, day or night, even when I'm driving in my car or whatever, it doesn't matter. But the harmonies that you would hear in classical music, I think that's what really stuck in my head as a kid growing up listening to classical music. All the different harmonies, the parts, you know, in the string instruments and all the other instruments, the cellos and the bassoons and the clarinets and the flutes. And it was just that symphonic harmony, you know, it's like sometimes I can listen to certain pieces and it's just so beautiful to me that I would just start crying. It just moves me that much. And with my voice, when I started doing multi-track recordings, that was something that I always had in the back of my head that I could sing all these different parts and blend it together to where it was just so beautiful, you know. And I and my thinking is if I like it, then there's got to be somebody else out there that likes it, you know. And over time, I've learned that there are a lot of people that appreciate what I do, and they love to hear me do the harmonies. They love to hear me do solos. They love me. They love to hear me speak. You know, I do voiceovers for a living. That's what I do for a living. And
Yeah,
so,
and,
so yeah, I mean, it's been a fun journey having this voice, you know, and growing into it because originally, like I said, I was just a kid with a voice like a man, you know, but I've grown into it since. And now I'm like the old grandpa with the deep voice, you know. So, and I'm
yeah,
okay with that too, you know.
and so another thing like I say is like I'm also a very big opera fan. Of course, I love operatic basses. For example, I will love Cesare Siepi from Italy, for example. But like
Okay.
I also love many baritones and dramatic tenors too.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Anybody that sounds good. I mean,
Yeah, it's like
I'm into anything that sounds good. It doesn't really
okay.
matter.
That's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
and
I
I
love good music. I love good singing. I love good harmony. Yeah, I just music is just an integral part of my life,
yeah.
inside and out.
Yeah, you said you're classically trained
Mhm.
and even though you sometimes do opera on your YouTube channel, how come you decide to become mostly a contemporary singer instead?
Well, it's not a decision that I made to be contemporary. There are